Okay, warm welcome to everyone. So today's engagement is with an aim to get you learn from some of the people who very recently cleared the patent agent examination, which was held on 7th May 2023, this year itself. And as we all appreciate and understand that this exam was not easy to crack, given the type of questions that the examiners had set. I think it was quite intriguing. And then we thought maybe we come forward and I bring to you some of my students who I taught. And I really love teaching them because each one of them who you see now were quite active in all classes. And I requested them that they share with you their strategy, their reading patterns, their models that they adopted, so that, as an aspiring patent agent, their guidance could help you going forward. So let's get going. I have with me Deepa Bhavishi and Sasmita Palo. I have Ramit Malhotra and Tarishi Gupta. So let me first of all have them introduce themselves to all of you. Deepa, let's start with you. Keep your introductions very brief.
Good evening. Myself is Deepa Bhavishi. I'm from Ahmedabad. I am an IP counsel in a leading fintech company based at
Deepa, can you be a
Ahmedabad.
little louder? It's very dim
Sure.
voice.
Sure. Myself is Deepa Bhavishi. I am from Ahmedabad. I am in leading IP. I am working as an IP counsel in a leading fintech company based in Ahmedabad. It's an IT company. I manage complete IP portfolio of this company. And currently, I was an IP patent agent aspirant for exam 2023.
Okay. Thank you, Deepa. Sasmita?
Hello, I'm Sashmita Palo. I'm located in Mumbai. I'm a IP practitioner and I have been practicing trademark design and copyright since more than 8 years.
Wow.
And I was an IP patent aspirant, so I wanted to pursue patent as well. So this year I had appeared for the exam and I've cleared it successfully.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank
Ramit?
you.
Everyone, my name is Ramit Malhotra and I reside in Delhi. I am right now working as a service application IT analyst in an IT firm and I'm a graduate from pharmaceutical sciences and uh, I don't have that much of experience. I am a fresher to this field, but still I want to pursue the field of IT as it seems interesting. So that's why I applied in this exam this year.
Good. Thank you, Ramit. Tarishi?
Hello, hi, good evening, everyone. So, I'm Tarishi Gupta. So, I have 4 years of experience as a patent analyst uh, in US based KPO. And I have this time, like, my background is biotechnology, and I have successfully cleared the exam this year.
Very nice. Congratulations to all
Thank
four of
you.
you. Yeah. So let us start with the questions so that people can learn more from your strategies. So first of all, when you were about to enter the exam hall, and just few hours before that, 10 to 15 hours before that, what was your checklist? What were you doing then? What were you doing to prepare yourself to enter in the exam center? Maybe we can start with Deepa in that order. We'll maintain that order.
Yeah, first of all, I wake up early in the morning at 4 o'clock, revised all the forms, sections, important
Mm.
sections, fees, and then just look that my ID card and each and everything is in proper place. And then afterwards, I was completely relaxed and took some deep breath.
Mm.
And I just left everything on God. So I have worked very hard. So, and built some confidence inside me. So that was the thing.
Right. I
Yeah.
remember my days when I was preparing for it. I couldn't
Yeah.
sleep the whole night. It was back in 2005. There were no mentors, no teachers, no books. It was all by ourselves. So I don't think I had slept for 2 to 3 nights properly because it was so much of revision and the law was so new to us anyway. But thanks for sharing that. Sasmita,
But
how about you? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Deepa.
yeah, but the way you taught us, na, that made the difference. That built confidence.
Okay.
And I'm really
Thank you.
thankful for that.
Thank you. Sasmita?
Even I go with Deepa. So I also like revise the forms, basically the fee and relevant sections pertaining to the same. And apart from that, while I was traveling, I went through the case laws as well. So these were the like, but I didn't follow the book. I was having a handy notebook where I maintained my forms. I had drafted my forms along with the fees and relevant rules, sections, and the corresponding rules. Fees
Hmm.
written in various colors for the
Hmm.
other, like, so that I can memorize or I can just look whenever I in the exams I cannot recollect. I recollect the colors, so I
Right.
recollected by the colors of the numbers I had written. And apart from that, I just browsed through it. I was continuously like browsing through the book before the exams, but nothing I was learning. I was just looking through the book, but I was
Book
relaxed.
mean you meant book by the statute book, right? The Patent Act.
Yeah, my notebook and the
Yes.
act. I was just
Act.
scanning through the
The
pages,
last
but I
minute,
was
yes.
quite relaxed because everything was written in the notebook.
Yes. Good. What were the last minute things that you were carrying? Were pens, colored pens allowed in the exam, or was it only blue and black that you were required to
I was not
write it?
sure, as in the instruction manual, it was written as black or blue, so I carried my blue pen. So I
Hmm.
was planning to underline the relevant sections and rules with the other color pen, but I didn't do it. I
Hmm.
underlined with the same color pen. So I have
Okay, so
used
one
blue
single
pen.
usage of pen,
Yeah.
right? That was for you also, Deepa. One single use of pen,
Yeah,
color.
only one use. Only. I just
Okay.
carried blue pen and
Okay.
pencil, nothing else.
Right.
Pencil
Before
helped to circle the things first.
also pencil at least was allowed, right?
Yeah, yeah, pencil was allowed. So I was
Hmm.
able to do some rough work.
Hmm. Okay. What about you, Tarishi? What were your last minute preparations?
Yes, ma'am. So, beforehand only, I had prepared some short notes for myself, like form fees and sections, and related, like you can say, flow charts related to the different processes, like
Hmm.
PCT route and different application processes, pre-grant, post-grant operations. So it was just, you can say, 3 to 5 pages for me, which I had revised on my travel. So yes, and all about that admit card and everything, pen, pencil, and I use two colored pens
Okay.
as in blue and black,
Okay.
and black for headings and blue for writing the content. Yes,
Hmm. Okay, so that was allowed in the exam.
yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because I remember when I was checking mock tests of all of you, it was quite nice to see different colors. Let's say blue, the main body of the answer, and the question in some other color, so that I could make out that when the next one is starting. So it is good to know that the two colors were allowed in the exam. Nice. Okay, Ramit.
So 10 to 15 hours before the exam, I was like, I have prepared. Uh,
Hmm.
this is what I can do. So I just prepared the stuff for the exam and I just relaxed. I just relaxed for the day. I just relaxed for the night. I talked to my mentors. I talked to my, and I just discussed what to do a bit, not to get nervous, just to do justice with myself. And I just relaxed a night before, watched some animes, and then go for it.
You were chilling out.
Yeah, I was chilling. A day before I was chilling, but day before that I was like whole night studying. So
Hmm. Oh, whole night, right.
Yeah, I gave a whole night 2 days before, and then right before exam, I gave rest to my body, to my mind, so that on the other day, on the exam
Mm.
day, I didn't get lazy, sleepy, so that you are relaxed, you feel relaxed, you're not get nervous. So to avoid that nervousness, I was in a chill mode.
Right. Good to know. Okay, so my next question to all of you is what was your reaction when you got the paper? I heard from some of the students that I got nervous. This is not what I expected. It was tough. You know, those kind of statements, because we were continuously, chatting also after immediately you were out from the exam. So I would like to hear from you so that, people could understand what to do if you get something which you never expected, how to calm yourself. So maybe we start with Deepa, you.
Yes, first of all, actually, I was very much prepared for paper one. I
Huh.
thought I will score very good marks. So for rest of the papers, if I'm not able to score good marks, then it will be an benefit. But when I saw the paper, actually, I was very sad. Okay, this is tough one. Analytical questions are there, but anyhow, I have to attempt. And with full peace of mind, I started attempting one by one, reading the questions, then thinking twice and thrice. I just attempted questions one by one. But at that time, actually, first I was panicked, but then I settled myself and started answering the questions. So, and I thought, okay, if I have done hard work, so which one is the best option? That I ticked. So, and I
Okay.
remembered that the tips you had given for the last day, that helped me a lot.
Were you able to complete those all 50 questions in 2.5 hours?
Yes, yes, very well, very well.
You had time to review, revise, or
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back,
I had
change?
time. No, I had 10 minutes time to review.
10 minutes is good enough
Yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Sasmita, how was it with you?
So I scanned through the entire paper. I was paranoid seeing the questions. I didn't expect such difficult questions to come because when I prepared for the all the mock tests that of the previous year question paper, I used to solve it within 1 hour, each of the question paper. But this was totally different. So I was taken aback initially, but within half an hour, I was composed. I was totally into it. So without thinking the difficulty of the paper, I started attempting the question. But what I did is initially I ticked the correct answers on the question paper very lightly with a pencil so that later on, if I change my mind or something clicks me, which I may have missed out. So many of the questions were of the same nature that I had missed it, ticked a wrong answer. Later, I realized it was a correct answer. So last half an hour, I circled it. So initial 1.5 hour, I just analyzed all the answers. It was like a good strategy for me because around 6 to 7 questions initially I had ticked it wrong.
Hmm. Okay, so your strategy has been not to start marking it on the final OMR sheet, put it on your question paper, and later on have a thorough review of what is right and what is not.
Because sometimes
Was
what happens is when you mark it on the OMR sheet and you leave
Hmm.
2 to 3 questions, then mark it, then there is a probability that for question number, for example, 4, you mark it on 5,
Ha,
or for
it
7, you
happens.
mark it on 6.
Yes,
That also happens.
yes. Deepa, did you mark it straight on the OMR sheet or
No,
the
no,
similar way?
I just approached similar like Sasmita. I did with mark this pencil first
Yeah.
in question
And
paper, and then afterwards I marked on OMR sheet.
and I
That helped
remember
me a lot.
And I remember मैंने दीपा को बोला था जैसे ही तुम्हारा एग्जाम खत्म होगा you have to share, all of you should share your question paper. And when I got her question paper, it was full of markings, red, blue, whatever. She was crossing and then she was ticking. I said, what has she done finally? I was so nervous myself. Then when we were discussing in the night, remember almost midnight we were discussing what all was
Yes,
the
around.
correct answer. That is when we had a sigh of relief. Yes, she's done a great
Yes,
work. It
yeah.
was full of colors. Your question paper was full of colors.
It was full of mess. Yeah, I just calculations were done
Yeah.
regarding dates and everything.
Yeah. I would rather encourage that, people should have one rough sheet, like we discussed in one of the videos also. Rough sheet to mark all of these things. Okay, Tarishi, how was it with you?
Yes, ma'am. So firstly, like when I saw the paper, I read it thoroughly, and for those questions which were like a little easy or you can say straightforward, I marked them on the question paper. And then, as Asmita has already said, like I also marked on OMR sheet at the end. And those which were like quite difficult questions that I attempted at the end, but like for which I was like half sure, so that I devoted a little more time. So you can say I had divided like for paper one, it was like part A, B, and C. So I devoted maximum time to part C, and then part B, and then part A. So little easy questions were there for part A for me. Yes.
Got it. Ramit?
So just after I got that question, I was like nervous. Although I have tried to not get nervous, but I was. So I took a deep breath and I just start reading the paper. I start marking on the question paper just a dot, not a marking or line or something. I just mark a dot on the answers, and I was like, okay, I will see it after that it is correct or not. I just marked on it, and after I guess approx 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. I completed the exam and then I started on OMR. There was a few questions, two or three, which I changed after that. And I still marked one question wrong on the OMR. But it was a better strategy. Otherwise, I could have marked more question wrongs. To mark on question paper, and then you can analyze the question you have marked. When you are marking on the OMR, you will read the question, what you have done. So there is a probability that you have marked the wrong question before, so you can change it. That
Right.
strategy helps you.
Can we now also hear from all of you what was the exam center looking like? Like, of course, we know there is an invigilator. There are people who are quite at a distance made to sit, in the same. I wanted to know what was the sheet size that you got. Was it landscape or portrait? How many leaflets were there? Was it good enough for you to cover it up within those leaflets? Did you need more? How was it? Any of you can just let us know. I think it should be common for everyone.
So the leaflet we got was portrait, and we although we prepared on the landscape as for previous exams,
Yes.
but it was portrait this time, and it was enough to complete the exam if you do it with a strategy. So if you are just nothing thought of writing, you might end up filling up the sheet. But if you follow a proper strategy, you just need 17 to 20 pages, as you have told us, as you have advised us, and that was sufficient to complete the question.
Okay, good. Okay, so this gets us going to the next question, third question. So there has been, so let's get to the main topic of today's also. What has been your strategy for studying? Like, like when I said in 2005, when I was appearing for the exam, there was no teacher, no internet, no books, no mentor. I was myself very new to the company where I was working. I would just, I was just doing claim drafting, nothing else I would know. So there was no help really. But today, fast forward 2023, internet is bombarded with a lot of information. Many good authors have come forward. They are trying to share their inputs through free videos. Lots of teachers who are available for classes. Your own mentors within your offices must be helping you. So I think you guys are a blessed lot. Of course, exam paper is getting tough, but in terms of the content and the help, I think you people are the blessed lot. So when you get so many things in front of you, how did you strategize? What was your strategy? Did you combine something? Did you focus on only one area? So it will be very interesting to know by the aspiring patent agents who've started to now prepare for it. So we'll go with Deepa first.
Yeah. Actually, I had many challenges at home front plus office, but I was firm. I was very firm that this time I am going to clear this exam. First, that positive approach only helped me first, and then I started to study thoroughly Barrett relevant sections, all the important sections and rules and forms. As advice given by you, I used to revise each and every forms along with the sections and rules. And consistency is the key. Actually, I made it consistent to read each and everything and revise each and everything daily for 4 hours. 3 months before I started my preparation, and for 4 hours I used to read it regularly. And along with the sections, I used to scribble the rules in the front of the sections and forms and everything with colored pen. And then actually I was known, you were known to me before, so I was very sure without you the my journey he would not be successful. So I joined your classes and that helped me a lot, because whenever we had doubts na, so you were we were not I was not hesitate to contact you whenever I asked you the questions. And I was very much surprised one morning at 4 o'clock I got your answer. So due to your dedication and efforts, it helped me a lot.
Thank you, Deepa. I think that's also mutual because as much you people want to learn, I also want to go more deeper into the act.
Yeah. I have never seen such a mentor like you. Okay, your answers were very prompt and to the point, and you discussed with us each and every questions and hints given by you. That helped me a lot.
Okay. Thank you, Deepa. I think there seems to be your video freezing sometimes in between. Is it only with me? I don't know. Um, okay. So let us hear from Sasmita. Sasmita, what was your strategy? How did you divide your time between the internet sources, your classes, and your reading yourself, your Bear Act, and any other reference books?
So I joined your classes by a reference, and it helped me a lot, I must say, because I didn't know the sense of direction. Where do I start? What do I study? What should I emphasis on? So I read the act. I started in Jan, and in Jan I used to study only for 1 hour. But from Feb I started studying like for 2 and 2.5 hours each day. And whenever I didn't get the time to study, I used to plug in the videos that the recordings that we got from the classes, so that I could cover up few of the sections at least a day if I'm not able to study. So it was my strategy, but consistently I was studying. I was in touch with that. So act is the major thing you need. You have to be very thorough with that. Thorough doesn't mean you have to by heart the act. Seeing the question this year, you have to understand that rather than by hearting like each and every word. Mugging up is not the solution. You have to understand. So for understanding more than just the phrases, you need practical exposure, practical experiences, which you get to understand from the mentor or your colleagues who are in the classes who have experienced such situation. So that was more helpful, but because I could figure it out, the entire provision, I could like calculate, okay, this is the situation, you have to overcome the situation in this manner. So it was my strategy because I am very bad at mugging up. So it helped me.
Right.
2.5 hours was like sufficient for me, but regularly.
Yeah. Right. I appreciate that. Right. Okay. Ramit, how was it for you?
Yeah, so I did a combination study. There were many resources available on the internet. So main resource I used was the Bear app. I used it as like Bible, or you can say Bhagavad Gita for the IP. So I just I try to interpret the sections. So what I do was I used to write the section and then I write my own interpretation after the section. Just below the section, I used to write my own interpretation, what I understand, for understanding. And I used to plug in the I when I go to the office or wherever I go, I used to plug in the video lectures or any personal video or something like this, which helps me to it's like you can understand, you can grasp the section, you can follow the section day by day. Because obviously, when you go to office, it's obvious that time will elapse. You will reach home by 7:30 or 8, sometimes 9 also. So you don't get time to read or study. So it's on us to how to utilize the time, how to utilize the resources we are available of. There are many teachers available who are putting their efforts and to provide us the guidance. There are many perceptions, and it's on us how to and what to select from those, and what they are providing us and what we are accepting. So it was a combination of all, and I was actually blessed. So yeah,
Okay, good. So you were having a combination of the act, the book, the classes, and some of the sources
yeah,
on the internet, right?
yeah.
Including the articles and others.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mostly, my focus was on act because if you interpret the act rightly, if you are understanding the act correctly, then you can do anything because you are able to understanding what it actually is. Then it's like Brahmastra. So
yeah, because even I have felt it over the years ki it is not just the Bare Act anymore. You need to have a lot of reading of peripheral items like the government initiatives. What are the different schemes going on? The case laws. Even in Viva, I
yeah,
think there were a lot of case laws asked. And even during our classes, we discussed that when you are responding to some answers, it's good to define your case law alongside as a testimony. So it's a lot of reading, by the way. Okay, so Tarishi, what about you?
Yes, ma'am. So, I'm more into reading kind of books and not onto the online YouTube literature available. So I was as suggested by you. So I was reading only the Bare Act and your classes, videos and lectures and notes. And it was I started my preparation in January only, and I used to understand the concept which was there in the Bare Act, or you can say for a particular section. So for a particular section, I used to write in my own words, and if I say for paper two, we need to have a writing practice as well. So it was quite helpful for me in my final exam. So yes.
Right. I think it varies between person to person. Some people are more happier going, through internet sources. Some people need a teacher. So, like Ramit, you rightly said, you need to know what is your need and what is your ambience, and accordingly decide how you want to strategize. But I'm sure many of people who are watching you will be able to have their chords connect with you because they might have similar situations, and I'm sure this will be helpful. Okay, let's get to the next leg of this interaction. How was your Viva? If you can also give some deep dive into what did the room look like? How many people were there interviewing you? Were they more friendly or some a little bit more tough on you? Without naming the name, certainly we don't want that. It's only that we want to know how the ambience looked like. And if you could also share some 3 to 4 questions that you were asked. Deepa, we can start with you.
Yes, actually, on the day of Viva, actually, I was tense because now this is the last source to get good marks. So I went very well dressed, as you advised before the day of Viva, to be very well dressed in light colors and tie your hairs and everything. So the way you advise, I went there with full confidence. Actually, the atmosphere was very good and friendly. They were very friendly. And then when my turn came, there were three panelists. And I just greeted them very well. And they made me comfortable and they started asking me questions. So I just answered to the point. And they asked me situational based questions also. If related to infringement or related to omnibus claims, explain omnibus claims, infringement question, and then difference between revocation and opposition. And then they asked me to explain the drafting rules. How will you draft the claims? So I explained them each and everything very nicely, and they were satisfied. And they were very friendly. They were supporting us. So there is nothing like to be feared in Viva. You should be confident.
Did they ask you to write a claim on anything, to draft a claim orally or in writing?
They didn't ask me to draft the claim, but that they asked me how will you draft the claim. They asked me verbally.
Okay.
So, uh, and they
Okay.
asked me the rules about the claims. That was the thing. Okay. What was the claim should look like? Independent claim, dependent claim. I just answered them that it should be like funnel. So they asked me how many length of this abstract and title should be of 15 words. They asked me everything.
Right.
But they were supportive and they were quite humble also. And one thing I would like to advise that you should be very polite. So if you don't know anything, then you can say that I'm not aware. So this is the thing.
Got it. Thank you, Deepa. Susmita?
As rightly said by Deepa, I was initially asked few of the questions which I was not aware of, related to few case laws related to biotechnology, which is my background. So initially I told them that I'm not aware of the recent case laws. Then they diverted, like they asked different questions. And rather than bluffing anything or giving vague answers, it makes a very bad impression on them also, I think. So stick to the answer, be like give crisp answers, short answers, as much as we know, rather than like giving stories. And pertaining to the question, they asked me about section 3 and 3D, basically, few questions. And regarding microorganisms, are they patentable? Why? How? Then where are they deposited? Then further, they asked like a detailed question on opposition, pre-grant and post-grant opposition, the timelines, the opposition board, everything, the relevant rules and the section corresponding each of the questions. They were like they dissected the entire section for me
So,
and asked
so
me.
this went for how long? Like, how many minutes did it go
Um,
for?
Previous, like initially, I was the last. After me, a single person was there. For me, it was only for 7 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
But
You lucky you were.
the initial candidates, they like were having good 15 to 20 minutes of viva.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I understand
last
that.
three of us had only 5 to 7 minutes of viva. So it was good and they were very friendly. Nothing was there to be baffled of. If we are
True.
not comfortable with the question, we are not aware of it, they switch to the next question rather than intimidating us. So it was very comfortable situation. And there were three
Yeah.
panelists in Mumbai. I was in Mumbai, so there were three panelists.
Okay. So, Deepa, yours was in the first half, like Susmita had the last half.
Yeah, I was in the
How
first
long did
half.
it go? Yeah.
Actually, mine was for half an hour.
Ah,
So too long. Because actually they were more interested in drafting. First they asked me, what is your experience? So I told them that I help in drafting the claims and I used to draft provisional patent application, complete patent applications in office. So they asked me in very much detail regarding drafting. So I went for half an hour and I was the last one in first half.
Yeah. Oh, wow. D versus SRST. So certainly it had to make a difference.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
based at, my viva was based at Ahmedabad.
right. That's the benefit of people having the last alphabets. So my son, his name is with Y, and in every class interview or whatever happens, he knows what ma'am is asking other students. So so it happens. Even we had the same situation when we were in school. Cool. So they follow the alphabetical order, right? Hmm. Okay, Ramit.
So before the Viva, I was nervous. And I am a nervous kind of person, so I was nervous. I called you so many times just before Viva and after Viva also. So I remember that the room was in the hall where we all were sitting. It's like full of people, students, aspirants, and we were discussing the sections and all. And everyone is watching us, so we were getting more nervous. And when I got into the room, I found that they were very professional. First of all, they were very professional, they were polite, and I told them I'm a fresher. So I don't know due to that or what was the reason, but they stick to the Bear Act. Although my Viva was kind of a rapid fire round type, but it was mainly to the Bear Act and question paper. So they asked question from the question paper that the question in 2023 regarding a shipwreck company. So they asked me about that question. How is it an infringement? What was your point on it? And they was as I am from pharmaceutical background, so they asked me about section 3D, how to use it, how to avoid it, and different sections related to it, different section regarding pharmaceuticals, renewal, restorations, compulsory license, all of these sections which are mainstream in the Bayer Act, they just directly ask the questions. They didn't like quiz the question. They were also helping. There was a point I fumbled a bit, so they also helped me. What should be the actual answer and how should I represent the answer? I should not fumble. I should easily go with the answer because I was nervous and it was a rapid fire. Anyone can get nervous in that viva. So they try to politely, help me answer like this. They didn't give me the answer, just they help me the answer like this. So I have to answer like. So it was a quite nice vibe. After that, I was also nervous. I was in the English, so I called you like, ma'am, this is the vibe. That's how it is gone. So you were like, अब तो हो गया जो हो गया होगा अच्छा होगा चिंता मत करो.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I remember you were calling before Viva and after Viva. You were very nervous. I think the best part, Ramit, is that the Viva is completely blindfolded, like I have done one of the videos. That nobody knows your marks. All they know is that you are an individual who's in the room sitting, and they will just de novo try to test your knowledge, not based on what you've done in the paper. They have no clue about your exam,
Exactly.
how you've performed. So it's a very fair, transparent way how patent office does Viva. So it is
Exactly.
really good.
Actually,
Um,
all three papers are practically different. Single paper cannot be judged on a single
yeah,
basis. For example,
true.
paper one is for bare knowledge. What's your act knowledge and how you pertain it and how you have understood it. And the second paper was about the situation based, how you are understanding the situation, how you will act on it. And the Viva was on your overall knowledge, overall skill, but it doesn't allow them or whatever way they didn't know that how did you performed in the exam, what were your score. They don't even
Yes,
know that. They just know
agree.
that you have appeared for the Viva and they will test you on that basis.
Correct.
What
Correct.
I experienced कि they ask us the questions based on our experience. Actually, they asked me also that in which field you are into your company. I told my company is into IT field and I used to draft software related patents. So they asked me questions related to Section 3K and CRI guidelines also, and just I explained them that recent case law Farid versus Tenani. So that they were very much satisfied. So we must be well prepared for the recent case laws also and recent development also. That's what I advise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. And therefore, if you look at the Triple IPF website, which is India International IP Forum, there is a resource center in which I have listed all important case laws that we were also discussing in our class, which are important from Viva point of view and for writing in the exam. Okay, Tarishi, your view on the
Yes. So for me, it was like a normal on-go situation. They have asked me questions related to my background, which is biotechnology, and my college thesis, which was based on to tissue engineering. So they had asked me like, okay, whether scaffolds are patentable or not, or what about the microbes, genetically modified organisms, that they are patentable or not. Basically, section 3 they were asking, but in by giving some examples, okay, plant variety where it will come. So I had told them like it is not patentable because it is coming under Plant Variety Act. And also they had asked me related to application filing process, like with the timelines, like okay, how will you file, within what time you have to file complete specification, and then what are the other criterias where you suppose you want to file a patent in Japan or Korea. So from which route you can go? So it will be like conventional or PCT route. So all those questions were asked from me. So it was basically in total 10 to 13 minutes for me.
right. So Tarishi, you are a biotechnologist background,
Yes.
you have that. So what specification of the exam did you follow? Did you respond to mechanical engineering or because biotech related spec did not come up?
Yes. So it was one mechanical related with a figure came up. So I had attempted. It was a short one. So
Mm,
I thought it was simple to attempt because there I can refer to the figures, as well as there was a short content to write in the description part. So I attempted that question.
okay, cool. All right. Okay, I think that is it. I wanted to ask you all, and just before we say bye to each other, what is that last 10-second advice that you would like to give to upcoming aspirants, helping them to crack it for the first time itself? Deepa?
To sum up in a few words, I would like to say that first of all, don't start the preparation at end. Start preparation at an early stage. Repeat, revise, and be consistent in your preparation. So at that end, you will be very well confident. This is the only advice I would like to give.
Right. So how many months of preparation do you recommend? 3, 4, 5, 1, 2? What is your recommendation?
5 to 6 months. It
Okay.
would be well enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. Sasmita?
Now, since the next patent agent examination dates are out, so candidates are having like good amount of time of like 5 to 6 months. They can utilize it. Regular studies, what to study, what to avoid, what not to do is the best part you should know. So apart from that, like Deepa said, a consistency is needed. If you are a professional and you are not able to cope up with the time, you have to make it like a timetable in your day-to-day basis, at least for 2 or 1.5 hour study now onwards. It is like sufficient. And a mentor is like a person who will take you through the correct path without making you fumble in the way on your way. So I would suggest a mentor whosoever is not comfortable or doesn't understand the act very properly.
Right.
Yeah, same as
Right.
Smita. Same as
It was
Susmita
my
said.
personal opinion because I always wanted, like, as the date came out, as I filled the form, I was like, in my head, it was going on. I needed a mentor because for the first paper, the act interpretation of the few sections were very difficult for me. And for the second, the length of the paper was so big, I didn't know how to cope up with it. I thought I won't be able to cover up within 3 hours how much to write, what not to write. It was through your classes, your lectures, and your consistent that like each and every class you used to say ki, you shouldn't do this, you should do that. So dheere dheere it was started like very slowly, but subconsciously it built up.
Hmm.
Like in the second paper, I finished the paper well within time.
Good.
Like before the invigilator took the paper, I was done with the paper very smoothly, without scribbling, without overwriting. So it was a smooth process and I was happy with myself, not because how I attempted the paper, because I confidently finished the paper within 3 hours, and second paper was tough to finish within 3 hours.
Yeah, I am with Susmita. The way you help us to draft the claims and everything, that helped us a lot because we were not, we were very well confident. I was very well confident while drafting. Okay, how to draft important this rules and everything you taught us were very helpful. So
I think
mentor is
it's,
must.
yeah,
Mentor is must.
mutually beneficial. Every class that I used to take, even I learned a lot because of the questions. I had to research it beforehand to then come for a class because I know you all were very smart. You would ask one question over the other. Why this? And especially Ramit.
You
So
filtered it. You filtered and gave us everything. That was very helpful.
thank you.
Yeah.
Tarishi?
Yes, ma'am. So basically for last minute things, maybe Bear Act, I would say, like you said, like read it at least twice. So I did that, and it was quite beneficial for me because I'm not a law person. So it was very difficult to me to understand the law language itself, which you had made quite easy for me to understand. So it was like okay, and now I'm able to understand the act. Now I will do the previous year questions. So it was also beneficial for me to manage time as well as to understand what the question wants us to answer or wants us to understand what it wants the answer from us.
So
So
your
yes,
advice to students is to understand the concept
yes,
first
ma'am.
and then attempt
Yes,
all past year question papers as well to be able to build that confidence, right? I
yes,
agree with you.
yes.
Correct. Ramit, last words of advice from your side.
So everyone has although completed all those major things. So my advice is just be consistent with your studies. Don't give a huge gap between the studies. Be consistent, study daily. So you will make a disciplined study routine and study the way understand it, uh, do the previous year question papers, and get a mentor. It is necessary because I am also not from a science background, so to understand the Bayrite, it's itself a challenge. Uh, Challenge of life is different, but challenge of understanding a Bayrite is a much more bigger challenge. So to understand it, you definitely need someone who has the knowledge, who can interpret for you, and who can give you an understanding how to read it, how to understand it. So it is necessary to have one mentor or as much as you can. It doesn't matter because it will give you a perception, but it's on you whom to select. And this was the main advice to be consistent and be disciplined in your studies.
Ma'am,
Right.
I would also suggest one thing. You have to
Hmm.
write a lot. Because writing practice has
Yeah.
been like left since ages. We are typing, used to typing. So every day you study, you just keep on scribbling. The
Yeah.
scribbling helps. The handwriting improves.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, I also want to add that because when you write that, you are preparing it, you are entrapping it in your mind. So you can write it in the question paper. You will get an habit of writing. and you were also just I was like to do. I was like to write my interpretation of it. It will give you an understanding what you are understanding actually from that. So it will all help you in the future in the
Yeah.
exam also.
I remember after the mock test, some of you had pain in the hands, and then I said you must keep exercising your hands as well. Your wrist, you should keep circling because we are really like rightly you said, Sasmita, we are none of us are in the habit of writing anymore. So more of scribbling, more of writing really helps and exercising also. Um, so
And
that
And
is
and
same
good.
with
making
the
the
mock
flow
test, ma'am,
charts
it was an
also.
eye. Sorry, you speak.
That's okay. Yeah, and making the flow charts that's advised by you, that helped us a lot. For each and every procedure, we made flow charts. So during last minute revisions, they were very helpful.
Right. Sasmita, you were saying something?
Ma'am, the mock test that you just spoke about, it was just like an eye opener. Just before 1 month of the exams, mock test was conducted for second paper. You were having regular mock test for first paper, which was very helpful for self analysis. But the second paper mock test was like an eye opener. We got to understand it, at least myself. I used to think if I'm like memorizing everything, everything is going into my head. Now I can write everything. But when you start writing, you understand the difficulty you are going through.
Yeah.
So it helped a lot. Again, the second mock test for the second paper, it was a better thing that helped us because it was very much analytical. The questions that you had prepared were very tough and it was very difficult for us to appear. So we prepared on that level. So maybe it was like a easier task. This paper wasn't like a easier paper for us. So the two mock tests were very helpful.
I had tough time preparing those. I took overnight just to prepare the toughest ones so that you could take a flavor of what may just appear on the final date. It was definitely a learning for me too.
And it was very difficult to even to get a 50 also. I just got a
Yeah.
50.
There were three
I
mock tests
agree.
I think we took. Yeah, and you must have appeared in two of them. Yeah,
Ma'am,
Ramit.
I also agree because when I prepared for a mock test, na, I didn't know the exam can be that hard because I have studied previous year questions and those were simple, like straightforward questions.
Hmm.
And when I did your exam, I was like, will it seriously be like this? You know, I was like, मतलब हैरान था मैं कि मतलब ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं क्या? And जब वो पेपर में actually आए, देन आई रियलाइज मतलब शायद ना आपने उस समय कहा था कि डोंट वरी है ऐसा पेपर आएगा नहीं ऑल्दो आई डोंट नो व्हाई आपने ऐसा कहा था बट जब आए एग्जैक्टली वैसे लेवल का क्वेश्चन था तो ठीक
Hmm.
है हमने करे हुए कर लेंगे अभी
और इस बार का 2023 का पेपर जब मैं रिव्यू कर रही थी तो बहुत ही मतलब उसमें से उन्होंने बीच में से निकाला हुआ है लाइक इन द फॉर्म some are para 12 may one of the points on NBA they've picked it up from there. Otherwise, you see nowhere in the act NBA is being discussed. It's only in that form one that you'll say you'll find when to submit NBA's permission. And it's not in the law, it's not in the act, it's in the form and that to somewhere deep inside.
Yes.
So those things help, it's just not mugging up form numbers and their sections, but also what form is exactly saying. So that is how I think we prepared and we were able to crack
Yeah,
it.
and the test you used to take after each and every lectures,
Yeah,
that
those
were
small
also very,
quiz.
yeah, yeah, that were also very useful for us to remember each and everything. So that were also very quite hard.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Thank you so much, guys. I think we have taken more than the time that we had wanted to take. I think 30 minutes I said that we will do the interaction, but we've gone beyond than that. Thank you so much. I think this has come out from your gut because you really want and passionate enough to help others. I would want that you allow people to reach out to you over LinkedIn as well. Those who want to understand something from you, be open for that. And I wish all the best to all the aspiring patent agents. And thanks once again to you, Ramit, Deepa, Sasmita, Tarishi, for coming forward and sharing your experiences. Thank you so
And
much
madam,
and bye bye.
थैंक यू
we
मैडम
are
Thank
we are
you. Bye.
grateful to you also for supporting us. Too much highly grateful. for
Thank
your
you.
support.
Thank
Yeah.
Bye.
you.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.